For years I was obsessed with the idea of being obsessed, and I've just tried to understand how to become obsessed. How do I have that peak motivation, peak performance, peak productivity, and I just couldn't figure it out. So it's naturally led me to a place of watching YouTubers like Ali Abdal to teach me about note-taking, about Notion templates that obviously didn't leave me anywhere. So I decided to study the most obsessed people I know, crack addicts. Crack addicts basically work all day, hustle, try to find a way to just make some money to get their choice of poison. They literally do anything, sell their clothes, travel 10 kilometers, break into houses, lie. They figure out any possible way to get what they want. So I wanted... I'm joking. Okay. I can't take this seriously. Okay. So, but there is another group of people. You may be rolling your eyes of what the fuck you've been talking about, but hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. There is another group of people actually who are also obsessed, and you probably can feel a little bit more closer to them than crack addicts, and you feel a little bit more similarities, and these are not other than gamers. Gamers basically sit down in front of the computer and spend 14 hours focused on one single thing. Basically, they are completely essentialist. When it comes to food, they just order something, they don't care about it, they do it as soon as possible, bam, they are back. When it comes to their friends calling them, oh, do you want to go out, do you want to party? They are like, fuck no, I'm not going, I'm logged in. They are like literally so focused on that one thing. And you ask, but how that's possible? When you sit down to work as an entrepreneur, you will soon find out that everything basically pulls your attention away. You want to check your phone, you want to just make your website redder, you really don't want to sit down to work. Everything is there that just like there to sabotage you and keep you away from doing the work. Or at least it feels like that. And obviously you are not even close to being obsessed. And you can ask of why this happens. Okay, so we are here at Figma, and basically I'm going to walk you through the obsession equation that I just came up with and basically lays a road ahead of how to be obsessed. So it's MA greater than E equals obsession. Let me describe what this means. So if the dopamine from your main activity is higher than the dopamine from your environment, then you will be obsessed. Okay, so let's go to our gamer crackhead versus entrepreneur example to demonstrate the whole obsession equation. So basically, at the first part, we can see this, by the way, is the activity and this is the lifestyle. So basically, what we can see here, I will use green, that here obsession is present. Why? This is the gamer and crackhead example. This arrow, by the way, demonstrates the amount of dopamine, and basically this is the amount of dopamine here. So basically here obsession will be present because day-to-day activity, their environment, is less than their activity. So here obsession will be present. But let's now look at the entrepreneur's life. The problem with the entrepreneur's lifestyle is that his main activity has less dopamine than his lifestyle. So he just won't be obsessed. And so the obsession equation won't work, which is a little bit of a big problem because you can't become obsessed. So here's what you can do. You have multiple ideas. You either get your work up here, which is not really easy. So the most logical answer that you can do is basically you get your lifestyle down here. And if this happens, then you will be basically in the green. Then the obsession equation will work. You see, the gamer and the crackhead is also obsessed, but their dopamine is really high. So they won't really enjoy life and it's pretty fucked up and they don't experience anything worthwhile. But if the entrepreneur is able to get their lifestyle down here, then they will be also obsessed and the obsession equation will work. Okay, so if we play for the obsession equation, that means that we need to decrease our lifestyle dopamine and increase our work dopamine, or just basically decrease the dopamine that we get from our lifestyle and the environment. But how we do this? That's the big question, because here's the thing, this is not easy. And you probably already have the basics figured out, like not using TikTok, not being on social media all day, and all this basic stuff, but the problem is that this stuff only gets you kinda here. And as you can see here, your daily dopamine from your lifestyle is still greater than the dopamine you get from your work. So that's not really an option. Even just you going out, engaging in the world, that's a lot of dopamine. Like, our world is basically fucked up and it's a dopamine machine. I heard this the other day that basically there are people who basically engineer the casinos in Las Vegas, try to make them as addictive as possible, and so it will release as much dopamine as possible. They like A/B tested lights, they tested so many stuff to just make it as addictive as possible. And basically our current world, if you like live in a city, your dopamine is still here. If you are not even on social media, all the billboards, all the music going on outside, everything. Yeah, I know it's fucked up, right? But you have to sacrifice in order to reach your goals, and that's the main sacrifice. You have to get your lifestyle from here down to here. And I'm going to explain a few ways I'm planning to do it, what I'm planning to cut out, and what are my plans moving forward, and how do I plan to do this. Obviously, the obsession equation is not something you should do all the time. This is like a monk mode, a demon mode, or something like that. We need a sprint, and you want to be obsessed, you want to be motivated as much as possible. This will hurt, this will be fucked up. So yeah, let me go through of my list of what I'm cutting out from my life in order to achieve this. No social media, I just wanted to get the most obvious out of the way. No social media. That means no Twitter, no Instagram. Obviously the basics, you don't spend time on social media, you won't check it. Hopefully you won't even have time to do this, but no social media. This is the most obvious one. Some entrepreneurs still fall for this, so just I wanted to say this. But this is even in the normal dopamine detox are not there. And also here is also comes that no YouTube. Second thing, no courses. You don't spend your time watching courses, you don't spend on learning on YouTube, but it's not learning, it's just literally entertainment. You are not on YouTube to learn, you are on YouTube to get entertained. No music. This is the big one, because now that I moved here, I have to admit maybe this is my biggest dopamine problem. And this is like I wake up, I listen to music, I go on walks, I listen to music, and I was like, yeah, it's not really a problem, till it got out of hand and it became one of my main dopamine sources. So as I said, it's important to pinpoint which are the biggest dopamine sources you get in your lives besides of work. So no music. I'm no longer will be listening to music when I'm in the gym. I will be no longer listening to music when I'm woke up or when I'm in taking my cold shower. And I won't listen to music while I go on walks. No sugar. I wouldn't really have a problem with this, but now I try to take this also seriously. No sugary food, no sugary drink. Some people have problem with it, and it's like people are doing dopamine detox lifestyle, but then they are eating sugary food. So no wonder like your dopamine is like still fucked up. No sauces. It's like that's the main thing I found out is that like when I do a dopamine detox, the main thing that happens is like my body just craves food, craves a lot of interesting and special and flavorful food. Basically that's the main thing, my body like tries to sneak in extra dopamine. So the thing is that like I hear the counter argument like, oh, let's just have my food as like just a little bit of happiness, but you shouldn't look at it like that. You will be still happy, and if you make your dopamine the right way, the same amount of dopamine will get still released just from productive activities. And food is just for fuel, not for fun at this stage. So yeah, no sauces, no sugar, just focus on eating something simple that's easy to prepare, and yes, you should actively focus on making that food not be as good. And that's so weird for me to say it, but I mean like don't try to make it extremely flavorful. It should be just like something you ate, and that's it. It shouldn't be something that you look forward to. You are like, oh, that's my highlight. Yeah, because when you do a dopamine detox lifestyle, every inch of dopamine will be something you will just try to get. Boredom time. Boredom time is a super cool concept. It's basically like a meditation or a visualization. It's probably their cousin, and it just, when you worked a lot and you feel burnt out or your dopamine are fucked up, what you do is you just sit down. And that's it. You just sit for 30 minutes. I usually set on my phone a 30-minute timer and I just sit. Nothing fancy. I don't do anything. Doesn't even get up, doesn't go clean my house, doesn't go like do all fancy stuff like make a protein shake or something. I just sit for 30 minutes. Usually this is the time when my best ideas come to my mind, and I usually feel refreshed after a boredom time. So I highly encourage you to start to incorporate into your day-to-day life. It's life-changing generally. And limits everything that releases a lot of dopamine. I just made a list that especially for me, but here's the thing. Everyone has something different. You may be struggling, you may be not struggling with any of this, or you may be struggling a lot with this. There is maybe something bigger you're struggling with. As I said, the first thing is to find out what's the main thing that's not work, that's basically drawing your attention away from work, and cut that thing out. And then also cut out smaller things like this. And actually another bonus thing that came to my mind is meetings. I got into the habit of having really long 2 to 3 hour long conversations, and they probably also release a lot of dopamine because we just have fun on them and like not really do work. And yeah, is this something sustainable for the long term? It depends. It depends how long you can stay in a stage of just your work being your main dopamine. And if you stay long enough in that stage, your work will become fun. And once your work becomes fun, it will be pretty easy to work all day, because that's the most fun thing that you can do. Not just you can do, your brain will wire itself to just want to work. So you will build a successful business and you achieve what you want effortlessly. So yeah, this is what we can learn from crack addicts and gamers on how to become obsessed. I hope you enjoyed this video. If yes, just drop a comment because it means a lot, and also subscribe, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.